Okay, friends, I'm there. What's your question? Huh? Look, you are all, I believe, you are UPSC aspirants. Well, you are chosen to take on something very, very challenging, because UPSC examination is no ordinary examination. It takes the whole of you completely. I want to thank my friends, first of all, who invited me. That's called Abhijit Nikam. Abhijit, thank you for this UPSC guide page. I think it's a great initiative. You saw a problem, you start to search for a solution, and that you and your friends came together to make this UPSC guide. I think I congratulate you. You're only 3 years old. 3 years old. You started in 2017. It's very well. So let me first begin with congratulating you. Secondly, is your attitude is brilliant. I appreciate your attitude that when you saw a problem, you started to look for a solution, and you became, as it said, if you don't solve a problem, you're part of the problem yourself. So if you're a solution provider, that is where it shows your positivity and your attitude. So you became a solution provider benefiting all. Now I've seen your page, and I've seen the UPSC. All I can say is there are two ways to prepare for UPSC for an aspirant. Either is go to a training academy and learn at a cost, while you will get all the expertise, and you will get all the guidance, you'll get all the experience, and you'll get the books guided. You'll also be trained how to write your essay, etc. But if you don't have that access, because such like training academies and institutions are not available in certain remote areas, and many of the aspirants may be in tier 2 and tier 3 cities as well, then I would think the internet is an answer. Because I believe the internet, as I've seen, is giving you everything. You can make Google your guru, and you put your question, what books to read, what tutorials to take, what YouTube to go to, how do I begin with. I've seen wonderful tutorials online, how to make notes, which books to read, and so I think what I've noticed, that you can make Google your guru for UPSC. All you need is a good connectivity and diligence and method. You can succeed, but it requires intensive preparation. It cannot be a routine. As you know, UPSC aspirant means 18 hours a day, 16 hours a day. It also means a lot of research, because you have to go back to the past questions, practicing, research on the syllabus, and then taking guidance and consultations. So I think you have two options. One is go to an academy, which is the easiest if you can afford, and then take full guidance, and then work methodically as they guide you. And the second option is make Google your guru, make internet your guru, and take guidance for everything. Today it answers for you everything. It tells you where your YouTube is, where your book is, and it certainly starts with the NCERT books. NCERT books are your foundation. Whether it is the prelims or whether it's the mains, optional is your subject of intensity. So I would think that answers are available on the internet itself. There are courses, there are tutorials available. Tap them and work on them. All you need is to stay up to date, because every book is outdated from the time it's finished and published. So whether it's history, geography, polity, economics. So you have to stay up to date, which means that while you are studying through a regular timetable, through hard work, you also keep your eyes and ears open to stay updated on what's happening on the latest, because that's where your novelty will be, which is beyond the book. But as I say, I don't think it's the kind of situation we faced. And of course, you can go back to the libraries, sit in any one of these college libraries or your libraries you can have. And by the way, libraries are also online. Many libraries are called the Granthale. They are available, and you can seek their help. They will be available. So I feel that the answers are today. It is not the same situation of the times when we were there, we had to go to only a main brick and mortar library. But today you have library on the tip of a button. You can go to any book available. Now if you are low on cost and you want to save, go find for second-hand books. Second-hand books are also available. Like the NCRT second-hand books are available with your friends, your brothers and sisters or relatives. Pick them up. And there are also second-hand books stores available where you can go for second-hand. So I think I would say that situation today, ball is entirely in your court, because you have the academies to train you, educate you, groom you, guide you, steer you. And you also have today the web completely open for you to self-help. That depends on you, what you want to do. And you can even make it hybrid. You can you can begin with an academy, take the roadmap and the learning, and then go in for self-help. Both the options are available. But today, situations become completely virtual. So practice is the main thing, research and practice. But I think more than a year would be essential. For such a UPSC aspirant, just 1 year will not be enough. You need to at least have minimum a year and a half, maximum 2 years. But 2 years is enough for UPSC cracking the courses, provided you again give 12 hours a day. But in that 12 hours a day, you've got to be in a mental state that when you are dedicating yourself for 12 hours a day, you are grasping, your attention is there and you're healthy and you're fresh, and that you're able to store, recover, make your notes properly, and that able to recall and practice. I think recalling, so that means freshness of time. You all have to choose. Some people are night birds and some are day birds. It's up to you. You need to know your physiology, your psychology, and your environment, which is the best time for you to grasp and learn. I thought this is best I can contribute right now. I'm open to your questions. Now let me see your questions. I can't read, they're too small. Okay, now how do I answer this question? We love you, Mum.
Ma'am.
Ma'am.
I'll tell you something.
Okay, yeah, okay, let's read from here. You're only sending me some very, very nice mojos. I read everywhere. I forgot. I read everything, I forgot. But that obviously means you need to even have the learning. Note making is an art. Learning is an art. Recalling is an art. Revising is an art. Practicing is an art. These are all about practices. Yeah. Question.
Rishabh asks, ma'am, please tell me, how do we stay focused?
Is improving your attention, which means silence, yoga, meditation. These are very important practices to improve your focus and attention. This is also practice, because mind has got to go wayward, but then it needs a lot of self-control and self-discipline, which also comes by practice. But if you want it, if you want to crack the UPSC, well, that's the first input, that you need focus, you need attention, you need concentration, you need determination, you need time discipline, you need the art of making notes, the art of recall. How do you recover? And it's all fortunately available. People are training you today. Successful candidates who cracked the courses in 2017, 18 are doing wonderful programs for you on the net. Listen to them.
Amit Roy is asking how to manage studies in COVID times.
Oh, you got more time. COVID time gives you more time, less of distraction. COVID times actually can be used for undisturbed study time, because you are compulsorily back home. So use COVID time as a revival time, as a focus time, and not a lamenting time. COVID time is not to lament, because that's reality. So use it as an investment time, as maybe as a given time by nature. that you can focus more, distractions are less. You are being home as long as you can be taken care of and get your peace to read.
A lot of them are asking how to be daily motivated.
Motivation and inspiration are internal. There's no outside doctor who will give you a B complex shot. It's all. Look, do you want to be motivated if you want to say take a UPSC exam? UPSC exam is a choice you're making. Then are you asking for motivation? Who told you to take the UPSC? Don't take it. If you're taking UPSC environment, UPSC examination, you're an UPSC aspirant, do you need to be told it's already a motivation that you want to take UPSC? And now you want to take a UPSC examination and you're asking me how do we stay motivated? Your goal itself is an inspiration. Your goal itself is a road journey. You are looking for a destination and you're asking me which railway station do I go for a ticket? Very strange. You're already saying my destination is to qualify in the services. So you've already given me your destination. You are saying I want to go to Jammu or I want to go to I want to go to Kashmir, and you're going to Kanyakumari, and you say how can I go to Kashmir? Arey, you know the journey. Go to the railway station and book your ticket accordingly. Go online and book it. But you are booking, if you're not knowing how to book a ticket, go to online to say how do I do a reservation for a railway ticket. UPSC is your destination. Obviously work backwards, which means that you have to study. Otherwise, don't choose this destination. You don't need to be externally motivated to. Otherwise, don't choose. UPSC is not recreation. UPSC demands the maximum out of you. That's why thousands and thousands take, but very few qualify. For the reason that somehow I'm doing UPSC. UPSC is not a hobby. Unless you want to go try. You want to give it a try and then you want to learn it second time and the third time. You want to use all the chances. That's a different story. But if you want to crack it first, then 2 years of total dedication. You don't have to ask me how do I motivate it. Because the very fact that you're asking for UPSC means you're motivated. That means you want it. You can't have UPSC examination without wanting it. And when you want it, nobody has to tell you how to do it. You will look for all sources of avenues that, like you're going for Kashmir, you will look for climate there, the weather there, where will you stay, who will you stay with, what kind of food will you get, do you have the budget? You will do that because you want to go to Kashmir. Oh, I want to go to Kashmir, but then you're going elsewhere. Or you're stopping by on the way, then you're not going to Kashmir. So when your destination is UPSC, then all the ingredients which go to take the exam and succeed in it are the ingredients you need to. Of course, the ingredients would be how do I make notes, which books do I study, which is the guide I could do. I think that's what is the syllabus that you'll research. You will look at past examination, past courses, and you'll rehearse them. You'll rehearse your essay writing. You'll go back to buy your NCRT books. Then that's a roadmap. That's part of the journey. Okay? What else?
These are the questions, if you can.
It's compulsory to have coaching? No, it's not. It's not compulsory to have coaching. But you need, even a book reading is a coaching. Aren't you coaching? You are preparing. Coaching can be from a formal academy. Coaching can be from the net. It's the way you want to coach yourself. But you do need coaching. Because you do. It's not compulsory to have coaching. It's a need-based. How much you need it. Let's go. How to prepare along with graduation, you said. I'm a software engineer. I can only research and learn. No time for go to coaching academy. Doesn't matter. As I said, you need not go to a coaching academy, but you have the net with you. It answers all your questions. Go to it and take guidance on the net. How to prepare notes? Is reading of NCRT once is not enough? No. then you won't make it. Go to the net. I think they're wonderful lessons how to make notes. Read them, and those are the boys who are doing giving notes, training to make notes, who made it at the top of the ladder in 2017. I saw that. It's a remarkable class how to make notes. So it's all available and it's free. Learn it. Only NCRT books is not enough. If you have to pass the preliminaries and the mains, NCRT books plus other books.
What UPSC looks in you? What does it look
What UPSC looks in you? What looks in?
What do they want from you? Like,
Looks in me? I don't
not-
understand
not
this question.
Generally, from any person, what does UPSC? looks
UPSC means to me?
for? What does UPSC looks for in candidates?
Oh, what UPSC looks for? Obviously, first qualify. Before you make the interview, you got to pass through the prelims and then you do the mains. Then you go to the interview. Once you reach the interview stage, then it's a personality test. Prior to that, it's your analytical knowledge, all those skills which come. So before you reach the interview, it's all about your grasp, your expression, the way you write, the way you answer the question, and it's negative marking also. Remember, you can't do guesswork. For every wrong answer you give, you lose marks. So there's no guesswork in it. But it looks for leadership. It looks for clarity. It looks for knowledge. It looks for a person who can comprehend and deliver. So all those will come in the interview. How to read English newspapers, ma'am? How to read? How to read? That's a very strange question. How do you read? How to read English? This doesn't make sense. The question is incomplete. Suggest books. Go to the internet. Go to your internet. It's all there. It's a list of books which is there. If you're a UPSC aspirant and you've not done your research on the internet on all aspects of UPSC, then you're not an aspirant. Then you're only passing time. If you're a serious UPSC aspirant, go to the internet, Google UPSC. It will guide you the syllabus, the books, the successful candidates, the academies present, the courses to do, practice, etc. You are there. That means you have to exhaust all that is available first on the internet. And there are YouTubes, even courses in the practicals, even in the YouTubes. Today they are just amazing. Something which just was unbelievable till a few years ago. So it's all there. So books are even mentioned. The preferred books are mentioned. Courses on the books are mentioned in the net. So go and see. Ma'am, will there be a training for us after achieving? Of course. Oh my God. Yes, of course. After you've done it, you go to dependent on the service. Every service adopts you, takes you as their candidate, and then grooms you, trains you, nurtures you, prepares you, puts you on probation, asks you to do practical training, attaches you with the services. It's like internship, which is called probationership. It grooms you, it prepares you. It teaches you laws, rules, regulations, standing operating procedures, and it develops your personality, makes you network, meet influential people, inspiring people. So UPSC, your academy will train you dependent on the service. Like the Indian Police Service, you'll go to Hyderabad for National Police Academy. For the IAS, you'll go to Missouri for the academy. For Revenue Service, for Railway Service, for Income Tax, all of them. They're all academies, and very, very fine academies. How to maintain consistency while preparation up to the destination. Ask yourself how serious you are. If you're serious, you will make a timetable and stick to it. But if you're not serious, then you won't make it. I can tell you in UPSC, only those who make it, who are consistent and are serious, and they invest their time and go by a planned way and take all possible guidance available, whether it's available in the academy or if it's available on the net. And then they study, and then they prepare methodically, systematically, in a very organized way. The more organized you are, the more systematic you are, the more determined you are, the more hardworking you are, the more fired up you are within that to make it, you make it, not otherwise. It's not a chance. It's not luck. It's diligence. It's hard work. It's sweat. It's perspiration. It's sacrifice, which makes you a UPSC candidate, qualified, not otherwise. How to manage our time management? Well, if you are a UPSC aspirant, then you will have a schedule. You will also see which subject to study what, from which book, how much must you finish. And therefore, you will not allow distractions to come. Automatically, you'll become your own timekeeper. You'll become your own timekeeper. So you will have to keep your time. But if you do not invest, you will not reap the rewards. You will get as much as you invest. UPSC is a time investment. Knowledge, it's hard work investment. But once you do it and you qualify, then there is work throughout your life, something of which you will love to do. You will remain and keep growing with the government in your service. But it requires initial total dedication, total commitment, total organization, totally planned hard work, and also very organized, and keep learning. And it requires undivided attention. If anybody says, I can do this and this also, then you're dividing your attention. This needs very focused attention. So don't mix it with anything else. I would say, it must be a rare and exception. What is the main quality to become an IS officer? Integrity, character, spirit of giving, being honest to the cause. It's not a job, it's a mission. Main quality to become an All India Civil Services officer, be the IAS, be the IPS, be the Foreign Service or others, is commitment to serve the country. Okay, I'm fine, thank you. What was your UPSC preparation? It was inner. I didn't join any, I did on my own. Books were my main sources. Just books. I'd done my master's in political science. I was teaching at that time. I taught also and I studied also. But I think the manner in which I was studying my books all along, had prepared me. Because you see, the books, you are going back to NCERT. I didn't need to, because I loved studying generally. And that was stored in me. And it came to my rescue. That's why I've always said to the school students and early college students is, if you want to make it to UPSC, keep your books. From 6th, 7th standard onwards, you need to visit your books, revisit them. That's not for the UP aspirant. My experience, well, you are an UPSC aspirant, then read the book. It's always possible. It's all about the heart. It's a classic. In fact, those of you who will probably choose sociology, criminology, psychology, or law enforcement may need the book as a reference to study. Can prisoners be reformed? I think that's an experience you need to look at. The book, it's always possible. Read that, you will get some very good insights. Any challenges of an IPS officer? Oh, every day is a challenge. It's a minute-to-minute challenge. Things change minute to minute. It's human resource, it's law and order, it's crime, it's shortage of resources, it's political. Everything. Every day is a new challenge, but then you're geared up for it. You have the resources to deal, and if you have got the love for continuing to serve, you're rising above every time. And you've got the health. Main thing is energy. If you've got a higher energy level, you're through it. It's good health, state of mind, physical fitness, that matters. How to face an interview is being honest. Is, of course, it requires preparation. It requires communication skill. How do you express in short words? The main thing is honesty. Don't cover up. If you don't know anything, don't try and catch up. Say, sir, I'm sorry, I don't know this. I do not know this. But do not fabricate. Don't overshow, not overdo. Remain yourself, authentic self. Because in the end, the number of marks you get in the interview is a part of the aggregate. So you do well in interview, it's a part of the aggregate. You don't do well in interview, it's also still. But if you've done very well in your prelims and your mains, but interview you don't do very well, it's an aggregate. But if you do very well in interview, it's not compulsory to pass in an interview. But if you do well in interview, it gives you high. Every mark matters in the UPSC. Every mark. One single mark is the difference. Whether it's a cadre, whether it's a service, whether it's a place of work, and even interstate seniority. Every mark. Every single mark matters in UPSC. So how do you face an interview is a preparation. Once you've passed your prelims and the mains, then there's time to prepare for interview. Then you can do mock interviews. Like you do mock writing for your prelims and for your mains, you can do mock interview practices. People can ask you can ask them to do mock interviews. That you can go for either academy or have your friends or teachers help you. But the main thing is to be authentic and to be short to the point. Don't meander around, don't show off. Being true. What was the difference in your life after the IPS training? Well, I was now a qualified police officer. I learned the law. I knew how to fire, investigate, how to lead, how to follow. There was a command and control structure. So many things. I loved it. It was all about legal training, to investigate and to lead the men. There were no women then. When you become the first IPS officer, how do you feel? Well, I didn't know I was going to be the first when I joined the service. I was told at the academy that I was the first woman. I did not know it. But I was not surprised because whatever I was doing, I was ahead of my time. I was not surprised. I didn't know it would such a splash of a history, what followed later. But I was unique. I was ahead of my time. I was India's #1 in tennis at that time. I was already nation tennis champion. So I was ahead already. I think I was one of the rare families in the country who was, and I was also scholarship holder in academics. I was holding two academic scholarships, tennis scholarship, academic scholarship in political science. I was far ahead. So becoming the first woman in the IPS was like one of the many other trophies. But I did not know it. But I felt that this is where I belonged. So if God is giving me a historical history, it was by my destiny. I think it was destiny in the making. Because I was making my destiny from my childhood itself. By very focused hard work, being very diligent, organized, listening to my parents, valuing my education, respecting my teachers, being grateful for whatever I had, being a sensible girl, no distractions required. So I was very wisely conducting myself as a teenager. I knew that it was a wrong time for distractions. I have to make my career first. So I was very focused for my career making. And then when I got the IPS, it didn't come as a big lottery. No, it was no lottery. It was a product of hard work. planned hard work. But rewarding, of course, God's grace. Something, tell us about your training. Oh, training was great. Look, I was an NCC cadet also, by the way. I talked to you about my tennis. I was a National Cadet Corps and I was also the best cadet of my college for four consecutive years. I was leading the parade while I was on the tennis court. I was also on the NCC. So I was in khaki uniform already. So I loved khaki anyway. So it was a part of an extension from a student now to a professional. But what I liked about is I was trained in law and investigations and riding. I loved horse riding, which I didn't do as a teenager. And I did rock climbing, which I didn't do. And I did a bit of it as an NCC camps. But then I did marathons, which I was an athlete anyway. But I think for me, the police training became an extension of my student life, which is why I could do so well in my IPS training with all the boys. All the boys. They were all only boys and I was the only girl. 1972 batch. Ran the marathon with them, did judo karate with them. They twisted my neck, I twisted theirs. We twisted each other's necks. They didn't spare me, I didn't spare them. The only thing is they gave me a person with my same height. So they gave me a stout boy, a male colleague who was of almost my height. Had it been a taller person, I don't know, then he would have probably picked me up and thrown me up. We didn't do that. So that was my IPS training.
I should be there to see.
That's Vaishnavi asking. Ma'am, at which attempt you cracked first?
What skills?
That's Siddha, that's asking. What skills we should develop while preparing for UPSC along with college studies? Study as if you're already getting ready for the exam. You study from knowledge point of view, not examination only, but get excited about the newness which is your subjects are giving you. Experience it. Internalize that knowledge which you're getting. Whatever subjects you are, internalize that and live them. And then relish them and maybe start making your notes, which you will make notes anyway when you start becoming UPSC aspirant. So imbibe the knowledge, but while preparing, be very alert to what's around you, what's happening today. One thing I want to tell you, at which I thought for you to tell you that please start listening to 8 a.m. All India Radio News. In Hindi, 8 to 8:30 and 8:30 to 9 English. Don't miss this morning news, because this morning news gives you the whole thing of the government of India planning to do or done new, or the happenings. This is the basis. 8 to 8:30 I never miss, or 8:30 to English I also listen. So 8 to 9 I'm literally dedicating myself every day to listening to All India Radio News. And second thing is that don't miss the BBC News once on one part of the day, and also look at the CNN News. And the WION channel also gives you international news. WION channel I think is also interesting. WION is The World is One, that channel. So I think a bit of CNN. You can listen to radio news. You don't have to wait for television. But if you are, while you're eating something and you can put it on silent, you can read the bottom lines and switch on the sound when you want it. So listening to the BBC gives you international exposure daily. CNN gives you that part of the continent, and radio news 8 to 9. My habit was 6:30 BBC Hindi. Now they stopped giving 6:30 p.m. a.m. BBC News. It was a wonderful BBC 6:30 a.m. radio news. Because of financial cutting down, I think they did away with it. But listen to English BBC, listen to CNN, and listen to Hindi and English All India Radio, 8 to 9, if you can. Otherwise, go to All India Radio Alerts and listen to. But 8 to 8:30 is a package. What cabinet decided, what are the other policies announcements, because they are all current for you. It's all part of your general knowledge. It's all part of your preliminaries. How to overcome the fear that we feel during this long journey. You can't be afraid. Look, you must enjoy the journey. Don't be afraid. Enjoy the journey. And number two, you must have a fallback. Look, this UPSC is not the only thing that's available. You must have fallback professions. You make it, excellent. If you don't make it, you must have a fallback profession alongside. So therefore, don't put all your eggs in one basket. No, that's not the right thing. I also had a fallback. I had a fallback as a lecturer. And I was a lecturer in a Khalsa College for Women, Amritsar, when I took the UPSC. And I did a law degree after that. Even after getting into the service, I had a fallback to practice law. Because you never know. So I had an education as a fallback, and I had a practicing degree as a fallback. And I did a PhD also for education. What I'm saying is, continue learning. Don't put all eggs in one basket. Have your fallback. So if you make it into the UPSC, fine. If you don't make it, you have a fallback. So UPSC is not the beginning and the end of the world. Treat it as one option and enjoy the process. Don't have to be afraid. You'll be afraid only if you're putting all your eggs in one basket. Don't put all your eggs in one basket. There's always an X factor. You may have studied very hard, you did very well, and there's an X factor that didn't work. Okay? I think that's the last question. I have to run back. Ma'am, how to next one. Oh, great. Thank you and wish you all very well. Go back and do some homework. Go to the internet. Research for yourself. Choose. If you can afford for the academy guidance, go to. If you can't, internet is good. And you can combine it with any profession also. But for that, you must give it 2 years. And if you only this, then a year and a half would just be good. But in that year and a half, 12 to 14 hours a day is a must. And with guidance coming in. All the best. God be with you. Bye-bye. And thank you so much, Abhijit Nikam, for giving me this wonderful, rare opportunity. Thank you. Bye.